What the organization wanted to do was allow the candidates who are running for city controller to have just a few minutes to speak with you, and those are Manhattan Borough President Scott Stringer and former Governor Eliot Spitzer. We're told Spitzer will not be making it, he's stuck in traffic, but we do have the Manhattan Borough President Scott Stringer here, who is running for your Democratic nomination for city controller. So Scott, whatever way you want to do it, sir, the floor is yours. You can take the mic. Here we have everyone, Scott Stringer, talking to you about why he wants to be the next controller of the city of New York.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me just say that I know my opponent was stuck in traffic, but I just came exactly the way he was coming. There was no traffic. But just kidding. No, just kidding. I'm sure. I know you have a big debate here on the DA's race. I want to thank all of you for giving us an opportunity. This is the way it works, by getting out there and talking directly to people. And I just want to tell you a couple things about why I'm running for controller. I believe that this office is going to be very important when the new government is constituted, January 1st, 2014. We're going to have a new mayor, new council speaker, many new council members. We need a controller who's going to be laser focused, watching out for working people in this city. This is the office when City Hall's not listening, when people are feeling pushed out, when they can't afford to make it in this town. The controller's got to be the one to watch people's backs. Plain and simple. And I bring to this race 20 years fighting for people, not being afraid to stand up, talking about the issues that affect people in the city, whether it was standing up as the first person who looked like me on Stop and Frisk and said there's got to be a better way. I did that before the whole issue got rolling. Stood with Hakeem Jeffries and Eric Adams and many people in this community and said the following, that my children, my little babies who I'm now raising with my wife, they will never have to worry. We will never have to worry as a family about when those boys go to the supermarket to get a quart of milk. We know they're coming home. That was not true with so many parents and grandparents. And I was on the front lines of that struggle. My life experience, the work I have done, reminding people that when Diallo was shot 52 times, I was the first person who looked like me who called Reverend Sharpton and said, I have to also get arrested. When it came time on issues of apartheid, time and time again in my entire career, I have stood with people of color. It is no accident that 1199 and every progressive labor union, DC 37, HCC is supporting me, not my opponent. And name recognition is a fair thing, but recognition of a record of empowering communities is something that I'm going to be competitive with. And I will tell you this, I cannot be elected controller unless all of you believe I'm the better candidate. It's not going to happen. And you know something? If I can't convince you, I shouldn't be controller. I am not going to win because one side against another. But I'm going to convince you. Because at the end of the day, this job is about having two distinct skill sets. Black, white, brown. You have to work with people to get results.
I have to check with Bob. What are we going to give them? 3 or 4 minutes. Bob told me 4 minutes. And the clock is ticking for opening statements here as we speak to the people of Brooklyn. And want to start? We'll give you the shot. All right, let's start with Ken Thompson giving his opening statement. 4 minutes, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you for having this forum, and thank all of you for being here. I think this is very important. This is one of the most important races that we're facing in the city, and it's rare that a sitting DA is challenged. Let me tell you why I'm running for Brooklyn DA. I'm running for Brooklyn DA because the Brooklyn DA's office is in crisis. And it's in crisis because of the failed leadership of Joe Hynes. All you have to do to see that failed leadership is to just look at the excessive use of stop and frisk, the abuse of stop and frisk right here in Brooklyn. For the last couple of years, Brooklyn has led the city in stop and frisk. The 7-5 precinct in East New York, the 7-3 precinct in Brownsville, we have seen thousands upon thousands of innocent young Black and Latino men stopped and frisked on the streets of Brooklyn, and they had their constitutional rights violated. And this DA didn't open his mouth and say one word about that. When we had 685 stop and frisk in 2011, he remained silent. When we had 500,000 of them last year, he again remained silent. But he not only remained silent, he actually did something else that was more damaging. He literally prosecuted thousands of young Black and Latino men for possessing small amounts of marijuana, and many of them who were caught up in this excessive stop and frisk. So what he did is he helped damage their lives, their futures forever, because many of them came into the criminal justice system for the first time. And they were given criminal convictions. And how are they going to get jobs later, get financial aid for college, and some of them have immigration issues. So this DA did not do one thing with respect to stop and frisk. That's first of all to show his failed leadership. Second of all,
time, and I think it's very unfair.
We got it.
I want to thank the Grand Council of Guardians of the National Association of Latino Officers. I really appreciate the opportunity to come here. And as I mentioned, this is the third debate Ken and I have had in 4 days. And his strategy is pretty simple. It's to viciously accuse me of overlooking unethical and unprofessional conduct, overlooking corruption in my office. He accuses my lawyers, who some of you in law enforcement have had the opportunity of working with. And you know they are among some of the best trial lawyers we have in the city. But he accuses them of being ill-prepared, not being taught ethical conduct. And for heaven's sake, if it was vaguely true that I set off every morning looking to prosecute every African-American Latino kid in Brooklyn, would I really be endorsed by 20 Latino and African-American legislators and district leaders? No, I'm not going to spend much time at all responding to Ken Thompson's attacks. Instead, I'm going to talk to you about some of the programs that we have created over the last 23 and a half years I've been privileged to be DA, which have been transformative. I became the first prosecutor in the country to have a fully staffed domestic violence bureau with 25 assistant prosecutors, 20 social worker counselors, and today I offer more resources for domestic violence victims like my mother than any place in the country, and more counseling than any place in America for the surviving children of this nightmare, the kind of that I received as a kid. I'm very, very proud of that record, and I was happy to hear you say that this is really a forum. This would give you an opportunity, I hope, to talk about all of the programs that we have created over the last 2.5 decades that have redesigned the Office of a Public Prosecutor, and have, as a result, has had a dramatic effect on public safety in this county.
As we used to, back in the day when we went to school.
On the question of police brutality, police corruption, it's second to none of anyone in this state.
Let me go to you.
No.
We don't want to go back and forth on this because we have a series of questions. Am I right, Mr. Slade?
Yes, indeed.
All right.
but hold on, he just said I had no experience. I think it's only fair to let me explain.
Well, you have
Okay.
30 seconds.
Here's the deal. That argument that I don't have experience is the same tired argument that career politicians always use. Look, I'm more than qualified to serve as Brooklyn DA. Look, I went to NYU Law School, worked for President Clinton, served as a federal prosecutor here in Brooklyn. He makes it seem like he's the only one in the Brooklyn DA's office. There are many people who help him run that
10
office.
seconds.
I'm going to hire the best. And if he was so great with his managerial experience, alleged cop shooters wouldn't be allowed out of prison because they failed to get ready for trial. One of his prosecutors would be calling
We
prosecution
can't.
out.
We're going to have to stop it there.
So if you want to talk about experience, you can't overlook his failed poor management experience.
All right, let's move on.